1, 2, 3, 4. Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, Lasot Shabbat, Ladorotam, Berit Olam, Berit Olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, Orhi leolam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, Orhi leolam. Ki sheshet yamim asar onai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat, Shabbat, vayinafar. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, Orhi leolam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, Orhi leolam. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. לכרותי לקראת כלה, ולשבת נקבלה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, ולשבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, כי ישמענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם תפארת וקהילה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת אקום אליך, כי מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם לסופה, סוף מעשה במחשבת תחילה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, גבעון קומי אורי. אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה. אוהי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה. לכרותי לקראת כלה, לשבת נקבלה.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Ham. It's very good to see you. Now, we are so glad to have your faces back in this building. And we do still say Shabbat Shalom to those of you at home, but I am not looking at this camera during... Oh, now the camera just looked at me. That was weird. So you too can join us for services. You just need to sign up to come. We'd love to have you. All right, so here we are. It's June. It's beautiful. It's Shabbat. We're celebrating outgoing board members, incoming board members, and I think just being able to be together in person again, really. And I was thinking about this past year and everything that we've all gone through. It's really been more than a year. And when something bad or tragic happens to people, we'll often say, what did I do to deserve this? And many people insist that nothing happens without a reason. Karma, or what you put out there, is the cause for whatever you may be suffering today. Well, I don't really believe that that's the way the world works. Rather, it's always appeared to me that much of life is, in fact, random. And our challenge is how we react to that which is handed us. Rather than arrange each event, God, we hope, gives us the necessary strength to meet all of the things that come our way as they come. At least that's what I've sort of ascertained after this last year or so. Now, in the Talmud, it says that if one plants stolen wheat, it should not grow. But the world goes on its way. Meaning, things happen that our morality does not affect. Why then do we blame ourselves when we know that the good often suffer and the wicked flourish? I think because it's easier to be guilty than to be helpless. Because if we're guilty, then we can change our behavior the next time. But if much of what happens is completely random, we have to accept that we can't control everything. And for me, and I imagine for a lot of you, that's not so easy. So on this Shabbat, I vote that we seek to affect the things that we can and to meet with resilience and courage and faith the things we cannot. Amidst the unpredictability of life, our attitude and responses are our charge, and they will in fact help fashion our destiny. So with that, we're going to light our Shabbat candles. I'm going to ask my mother-in-law if she'll come forward and do that for us. I've told the story before that the Talmud teaches that because we need a new soul for the coming week, and it's been sort of worn out from the week we just went through, that our soul goes to the cleaners on Shabbat, and we get this alternate stand-in soul called the neshama yetera, the additional soul, on Shabbat. But because it feels a little we're not used to it, it feels a little strange for us, the rabbis teach us in the Talmud that an angel on either side of us escorts us home because we're a little unsteady in our feet with this new soul as we leave for Shabbat. Well, imagine that we all left for Shabbat that first week in March. We went home and we never came back. And so we've been spending a lot of time with the same angels and hopefully have been kind to them. And it's time to get our souls back. And I feel like that's what this coming back is like getting our soul back. So let's sing in honor and celebration of that, the words of Shalom Alechem.
Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Shalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hamlachim, Shalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyonim, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei
invite you to rise for the Hatzi Kaddish.
Yikaral v'yikara shamei rabba.
Amen.
Ba'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon v'yom echon uv'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael b'gala uv'izman kariv v'yimaru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabba mavorach Le'olam ul'almei almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בלמה ואמרו
Amen.
יה לה 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 יה לה 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 יה לה 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 יה לה 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 יה לה 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 יה לה 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 la 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 Baruch hu et Adonai
Everyone is invited.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות your children, and you will speak of them when you're sitting in your house, when you're walking by the way, and when you're lying down, and when you're rising up, and when you're rising up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they will be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
The poet Amichai wrote, "We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus, Yetziat Mitzrayim, lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time, in fact happens all the time. We honor that Exodus, that eternal leaving and going forward into unknown territory with the words of Micha Mocha.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha neder b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha neder b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Adonai, our God, we ask that you allow us to lie down in peace this night, that we might rise up to life renewed. We ask, if we may, for a Sukkot Shlomecha, a shelter of peace for us and all people.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'amideinu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha V'Hoshienu L'man Shemecha. Help us to know that you're near, that your presence is here. Let us lie down in peace every night. And when we rise in the day, keep us sheltered, we pray. Guide us, God, with your love and your light. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu L'Shalom, Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim.
Okay, your assignment before was to breathe. Now I need you to think happy thoughts. Because it's Shabbat, because there's actually people here in person, because nobody looks that afraid, because I can see people's faces. All these good things. If you want to know what's really happening, is Shabbat Band's performing again. If you watched at all, we tried to be television stars on Friday nights, and so they're experiencing some music, and it's happy music. So just real quickly, they can't hear us, and even if you said something, they couldn't hear you because you're not talking into a microphone. Let's just shout some happy things. Does anyone have anything happy they could share? It was my birthday last week.
Oh, and it's Helene's birthday tonight.
Oh. Yeah, there's a bat mitzvah tomorrow, Helene's birthday. Okay, these are happy things. What else you got? Al's birthday also. We mark these parents' anniversary. How many years? Wait, 40? 40 years. That's impressive. Oh, tomatoes are growing. My dad's a big gardener. That was one of my big activities during the pandemic. I decided I'd learn to. It turns out you need sun. My property does not get a lot of sun. So, someone else? What do you got? Oh, graduations. Double. Yeah, that's impressive. Milestones. How are we doing on time?
Well, actually, Rabbi Flip, the video is not actually playing, so we can just keep talking.
Then we'll move on. We take those happy thoughts and we move to a more sacred place with the words of the Amidah. I'm going to invite everyone to please rise.
Adonai tzifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומשמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
And we leave a little time for our own silent thoughts and prayers, and when you're done, you may be seated.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Adonai tzuri v'goali
Some of their names are familiar, and some may not be. All of them are connected in some way to our community, and all of them are in need of a blessing for healing. So I mentioned the names Steve Geringer and Savannah Morris, Jane Sherberg and Paul Richter, Crystal Miller and Janice Grossman, Charlie Baugh, Minette Chance, Mickey Collins, Karen Eisner, Lori Mandel, TJ Cohen, Lisa Silver, how's the hand?
It's getting there.
Okay. Lisa Silver I remember as well, and Dick Eskin. If there's names I've neglected to mention, ones you want to say aloud.
Susan Burdine.
Those names and all people who are in need, we sing a blessing for healing.
For the hurt of body and of soul, for the suffering and pain, as you heal the ones who came before, may you heal us just the same. רפואת הנפש והגוף, אל נא רפאנה. רפאנו אדוני, רפואה שלמה. רפואת הנפש והגוף, אל נא רפאנה. רפאנו as you heal the ones who came before. May you heal us just the same.
So, our sages tell this story of how at the Red Sea, the children of Israel kind of were paralyzed. There was this raging ocean before them. There was a mighty Egyptian army at their backs. It took a brave volunteer, probably the ancestor of one of the members of our Micah Board of Trustees. Nachshon was his name. He was chief of the tribe of Judah, should sound familiar. And he waded into the water because he wanted to show everyone that the sea would split, just like God had promised and Moses had promised. And for that reason, the tribe of Judah was worthy to be made the ruling power in Israel, the leaders. And it says in the Babylonian Talmud, in Tractate Sota, page 37a, I looked it up on the internet, that volunteering often feels like that. You're caught between family and real work responsibilities on one side, and what seems like endlessly needs of Rabbi Flip and Rabbi Lori and the rest of the Jewish community. And it's not easy to take the plunge. And so tonight is about thanking all of those in the past and in the present and in the future who really were the leaders of our community, and for becoming really God's partners and our partners in this work that we do in trying to heal the whole world. And so tonight we're going to celebrate some of their willingness and some of their successes, along with all of the other tribes that are watching. Congregation Micah is actually possible because of the work of its professional staff and its lay leaders. And it's a sacred partnership. It's based on this model of shared leadership. For example, the fabulous educator Julie Greenberg, who sits at the back of the room, yes, she builds a staff of volunteer, get it, teachers, that's you, congregants, in case you're interested, right, to teach our next generation of Jews. And there are outstanding executive directors, right? And yeah, go like that again. We'll do it again in a little while. Who labor in love with other volunteers like President Stan Grossman and treasurers like Larry Fuldauer in order to effectively sort of vision and steward our community. And I think it says something about Tennessee, and Micah specifically, that we know this whole state is blessed with sort of our namesake volunteers. And there are a few who really separate themselves out, and so we kind of have to acknowledge them. Some of them receive what we like to call the honorable mention. I'll try that again. They can't hear that. They're laughing. Okay. See, a mensch is someone who would laugh at that, who would admire, right? It's someone to admire and emulate because they have noble character. And to be really the key to being a mensch is really nothing less than character and a sense of what's right and what's responsible. And when I say responsible, they're able to respond, right? These are people who have actually served Micah for decades, and they have seen challenges and they have responded. They have stepped up. They have waded into the water. And we use the term mensch not just because of the alliteration, but because it's our highest compliment. And our Jewish community, our community here at Micah specifically, we value two specific individuals this year that we are going to offer our sort of Micah Mensch Awards to. And the first one is going to be presented by Ms. Lisa Silver.
So some of you that watched the Zoom, at the Zoom meeting yesterday heard me say this about this fabulous person, but it bears repeating again. So I'm not exactly sure how long I've known Jerry Kimbrough. I think it's been at least 30 years, wouldn't you say, since we became friends and musical colleagues in the Nashville recording studio world. We played a lot of recording sessions together and got acquainted then. And then I was so happy to find that he and his lovely, wonderful wife, Diane, had joined Congregation Micah. And back in 2003, when our kids were all members of the Micah Kids Choir, Zoe, you were one of the illustrious members of the Kids Choir, Jerry spent many, many hours playing guitar with us and helped us record on the clunky old CD recorder, remember that? Record the Kids Choir Got Blues album, which I think is probably a collector's item because, maybe it sold like zero. But actually it was a gift to the congregation, as I recall. There may be some around still. So if you've never heard it, it really is great. And Jerry helped us out immensely with that, just as a volunteer. So fast forward to a couple of years ago, and Jerry became one of a small group of rotating professional musicians I chose to add additional accompaniment with us on Shabbat services. And then last year, during the pandemic, Jerry became even more invaluable, if that was even possible, because I did not come to Micah at all for, I guess, about 8 months. I didn't feel comfortable coming into the building until I had COVID, and then I was able to come back again. But Jerry, thank goodness, accompanied Rabbi Lori every Friday night because she stepped into the dual role of cantorial soloist and rabbi. I would send in occasional videos that I had made in my little office closet, and we would play them. But Rabbi Lori and Jerry did most of the work. So that was just so helpful to everyone. And people tonight came up and just said how much they enjoyed hearing him in the live stream over the past year. So if you didn't know that then, I'm glad that you know that now. So now that we're safely back, it's just a blast to be able to sing with Jerry again. It's just been wonderful. And I'll have to say he's a top-notch professional. He's very respected, within Micah and outside of Micah in the secular music world. And when he's not here on a Friday night, it might be because he's playing in the Grand Ole Opry Band. So if you didn't know that, sometimes he's in the Opry staff band. He's got a great attitude. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got a great laugh. It's always really fun to make him laugh because he's just got a great laugh. And he's just an all-around great guy. So I am really honored and pleased to present him with the Micah Mensch Award. We've got a
We
big
do have a
package
gift.
for you.
Wait, you know what? Don't come up yet. I'm going to pull them up together, but you
Okay,
can
good.
clap now.
All
You
right,
can clap.
you can clap.
I'm going to try again. There's another individual I would like to mention tonight. Okay, much better. So last night when we spoke about Paula Kerwin, really, Lori mentioned how amazing she is by identifying little holy moments and acknowledging them through gifts, through financial gifts. In the Jewish world, like in the Christian world, we like to speak of 3 T's: time, treasures, and talents. And it's not just the treasures that you lend us, but it's the time you lend us, and it's the talents. And I'm going to tell you my favorite thing about Paula, and it has nothing to do with Mahjong, because I don't really understand that game. My favorite thing about Paula is she is an ambassador, which is to say, sometimes, I know it's got to be very rare, someone might say something not nice about our community. I don't think it happens very often. But what I know for sure is that Paula would be the kind of person who would say, hey, do you really know Micah? She may come back and check with us, because we make mistakes all the time. But I want other people to emulate that quality in Paula. That's what a mensch is too. My daughter says to me sometimes, this girl said that this other girl said this thing about me. And my response is, did you say to that girl, well, what did you say in my defense? I think we all know Lashon Hara, speaking nasty stuff, is not such a nice thing, but we're passionate about this place called Micah, and I know that you, Paula, your passion is very real, and I feel just as confident as you as I would Rabbi Lori or anyone to say, Micah's the greatest place, you got to come here and check it out. So if the two of you don't mind coming up here for a minute. This is for Paula. It's not as heavy. Stand over here awkwardly next to him. Don't be insulted, Jerry, because yours has alcohol, but I was told you love this stuff. This pink Moscato, barefoot bubbly. Can you handle all of that? I'm going to hand it to your husband. The cameras are focused in on you because you are the people we hope that the people will emulate. And we're going to sing a little Shechechianu is what we're going to do.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kilmanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
We thank that power in the universe who not only created us but brought us people like you. May you be emulated throughout our community, everybody says.
Amen.
Okay, thank you. I'll give a hand.
Woo!
Okay, moving along, we have a little Torah. Here's what we got, right? The common thread, really, in the mensch thing is they're the first, like I said, to say, hey, how can I step up? How can I help? And it's not really just deciding what to do, but the more fundamental problem of just understanding the situation. The coronavirus pandemic has reiterated what we, I think, as Jews have known all through history. It's difficult to be strategic when we live in a world of radical uncertainty. And we storytellers know that sort of the narrative plays a major role in making good decisions in an uncertain world. So good leaders ask, what story is this a part of? And this week in the Torah, Moses sends these 12 scouts out to check out the land of Israel. And 10 of them come back, and they've got this not-so-good report. The land is good, but it's unconquerable. The people are strong. The cities are impenetrable. Ra'inu et ha-nefalim, they said. We saw inhabitants, and they are giants. V'nahi v'einenu kahavigim, and we are like grasshoppers in their eyes. And only 2 of them, these guys, Joshua and Caleb, they take this different view. We can win, they say. This land is good. We're not going to fail. So if you tell the story the traditional way, Joshua and Caleb, they have faith. Yeah, they have courage. They have confidence. The other 10 did not. But didn't the other 10 know that God was with them? Right? God had already crushed Egypt. The Israelites had defeated the Amalekites along the way. How come these 10 leaders of the people, how could they not know that they could accomplish anything? If they work together. What if the story is not about faith? What if it's not about confidence or courage at all? What if it's about not understanding the situation? What happens when you don't read it right? So biblical Hebrew has these 2 words, these verbs. They mean to spy. Lachpor v'ligarel. That's where we get meraglim, the spies. That's how it gets translated. Neither of these words appear in this story. Instead, no less than 12 times we encounter a different word, very rare. It's called latur. It's revived in modern Hebrew, actually. It means, and it sounds like what you think it means, to tour, right? A tayyar is a tourist. So there's a lot of difference between being a tourist and being a spy, don't you think? Because if you're a tourist, you kind of go to see the cool stuff. You kind of do what the tourists do. Like when I travel, right, I try to see the beautiful stuff, the majestic stuff, and the inspiring stuff. Lachpor and ligarel are opposites. They're about searching a place's weaknesses out, its vulnerabilities. That's what spies do, right? But this other word, latur, which is there 12 times, is there to tell us that the 12 men were not sent to spy. And only 2 of them understood it, right? The reason 10 of the 12 men came back with a negative report is because it's not because they lacked courage or they lacked confidence. They didn't lack faith. They didn't understand the whole situation. They didn't get the mission. So they thought they were supposed to be spies. They believed their role was to find out where the land was vulnerable, where the defenses could be overcome, but even though they did their job, they did it wrong. They were honest, they were open, they said what they saw. based on the intelligence that they had, at least what they had gathered. And they advised the people, don't attack, not now, not from here. And their whole mistake, I think, was that they weren't supposed to be spies. They were supposed to be tourists. They were supposed to explore and to travel and to see what the land was like and then report back. Say what was good about the land, not what was bad. 10 of the 12 men thought they were part of a story of espionage. And the result is that they looked for the wrong things, and they came to the wrong conclusions, and they destroyed the hope of an entire generation. Right? Our tradition eternally remembers these leaders as responsible for one of the worst failures in Jewish history. And I share this with you from the Torah because I think the Torah is reminding us of the importance of narrative, and especially when it comes to decision-making, and especially under conditions of radical uncertainty. Stories matter. And here at Micah, we not only have a great story, we have great leaders. And it's a continued ability to tell a story of people and to tell a story of hope, because the stories that we tell affect the decisions that we make. And if we get the story wrong, we can rob an entire generation of their future. But if we get it right, like Joshua and Caleb and Dan Grossman, then we can achieve greatness. And it's not just about Dan, it's about the leaders that he was surrounded with on our executive board and larger board. Because Micah tries its very best to be unabashedly passionate about several things. There is our music, there is our preschool, there is our kids registered in our religious school, there is our love of Israel, its people and its culture. We are passionate about what we do in this room with regard to worship. We are an outreach place. I mean, being inclusive is in our DNA. And we do our best to that age-old prophetic idea of seeking justice and caring about each other and being transparent as we can in our decision-making and humble in it. And your leadership is based on these things. And we are so thankful, Dan, for your stewardship. And Larry and Andy and Susan Foxman and everybody on the executive team and the larger board for showing patience and remaining loyal and having faith and being resilient and trust in us. And all of us in different ways have sort of participated together in creating this sacred community. And we want the doors to this campus to not just be open now, but to be wide open. And wide open enough for anyone who wants to explore Jewish life and to find shelter and compassion, and still narrow enough to keep out any danger. So, they are not here this evening, but I do want to acknowledge our outgoing board members in Sarah Malamed and in Nick Frank, who you will continue to see. Sarah is, I think, going to be the now board chair of the Jewish Community Center. So leadership that is groomed here goes on to serve the larger Jewish world. Nick continues to be an educator and will no doubt be involved in our school and other things as well. Right now, what I'm going to have happen is I'm going to have Dan come forward just momentarily, and Howard. They're going to come forward. You're not going to need to get up, but I'm going to have a little Torah ceremony with the two of them as we install a new president as leader of our congregation. Torah's light, the burden's heavy. I'm going to have you come in front. Watch what I do here. This is going to be great. Howard, over here. Okay. As the children of Israel left Egypt and began a new journey, so too our members of our community are beginning a new journey. And there are people here willing to step up, to take on new leadership positions. And in our Torah, it instructs us, if you survey the course you take, all your ways will prosper. It's from Proverbs 4:26, also found it on the internet. So this is a time that we know is prime for imagination. Rabbi Israel Salanter, founder of the Musar movement, which held that the study of Talmud must be accompanied by ethical study and ethical conduct, said that while engaging in community work, one must make 3 resolutions. You ready? Never lose one's temper, never get tired, and never want to win. Equanimity is a sign of respect. Energy is proof that the work is invigorating, and especially here at Micah, in the service of God. And not wanting to win is subordinating one's ego for a greater purpose. Rabbi Salanta reminds us that to work with others in service to something greater than oneself is a sacred task. So as you begin the sacred task of leadership, with the permission of God, a covenantal partner in the work of creation, with the permission of the Torah, our source of wisdom, which urges us to choose life for our people in the world, with the permission of everyone who's sitting here and happy to have them here, but the permission of everybody who's watching, right? I want to quote Julie Greenberg again, who quoted last year, was so good. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. So, as we create this succession, we hope that both of you will go on and continue to do great things, that you'll be led in wisdom and righteousness and faithfulness. Dan, you're going to place the Torah now in Howard's hands. I do want to also thank David Zielinski, who's not here, but he's our legal advisor and on our team. I want to welcome Dorothy Curtis and Vicki Estrin and Shannon Alpert onto our board. And I want to ask you, Dr. Howard Baum, this question, if you're ready. Will you faithfully execute the office of President of the Board of Micah and to the best of your ability preserve, protect, and defend the Torah? All right. Okay, I'm going to have you come forward. Yeah, you can clap.
Well, I was feeling pretty good about this until we got the raging sea analogy. And so I guess I'll just wade in and hope the water splits in front of me. Well, thank you, Rabbi Flip, for the opportunity to introduce myself briefly to the congregation. I thought I would just give you a brief bio and then start a discussion anyway about our plans for the coming year. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and attended Bethel Congregation, a synagogue of similar size to Micah. In those days, it was classic Reform, the New Union Prayer Book, mostly English and no chanting. We did have a choir for the musical parts, singing the usual melodies, but there were no guitars, no bongos, and no Grammy nominations. My mother would have had a conniption. I subsequently belonged to large congregations in Baltimore, Boston, and Dallas, but Micah's my favorite. We moved here from Dallas and joined Micah in 2014. We have never been inside another synagogue in Nashville, so I guess that means we were sold from the start. My wife, Joy, has been an active member here, working with the special events and membership committees. I was on the finance committee and served a board term before becoming president-elect. We have 2 adult children, Evan in Massachusetts and Ella here in Tennessee. I'm a physician at Vanderbilt in endocrinology and not infectious diseases, so I was feeling my way through the pandemic like everybody else. I'm the second consecutive board president who never saw the mirrored ball in its original habitat. And that is just one indication that we are entering a new era, but of course there are others. Clearly, there's a lot of pent-up energy as we look forward to spending increasing time together in the building. As we do, it will be without Celia Lurch piloting the ship, and we will be in the process of figuring out who can hold a candle to Lisa Silver. We will be presenting and then implementing a new strategic plan. A lot is happening. I will tell you that I'm not a diva, a visionary, or a masochist, so obviously I will be needing a lot of help. That is where you come in. I am hoping to corral the excitement that everyone has about returning into positive action for the congregation. My theme for the next several months will be participation. In-person participation in our services and programs, participation in the workings of the congregation, whether it's committee service or volunteering for individual events, and participation in our future, thinking about how we can continue to grow and remain fiscally secure for future generations. It will be an exciting time, and I will be asking for your assistance. The founders of Micah moved chairs or did whatever they had to do to make the dream of a new congregation work. Along with the guidance and continued involvement of that group, I hope and expect that the large number of us who never saw the inside of the disco that was our original home can meet today's challenges and opportunities and make the founders proud. Shabbat Shalom.
Howard, thank you. We are excited, of course, expect great things and are looking forward to working with you. 2 extra seconds on this gentleman who really guided us through a very difficult time. A lot of people say that certain leaders are often called to service for certain reasons, and you just were a calm hand in a crazy storm, and right away we're a partner with Lori and I, and we got a gift for you, just like we did for Jerry. Wow. It's going to be heavy. Okay. And it's got alcohol.
Well, I like that.
Another round of applause, please, for Mr. Van Preston. As Lynn will tell you, and there's other past presidents, we don't just let you go, but we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'll be back.
Oh, we got one more thing we got to do, and I worry she's been dreading it for a little bit, but you know, achievement and success, these are not things that happen by accident anywhere, and not at Micah either. Breakthroughs sometimes come after spending what seems like a lot of hours of hard work and trying things, new ideas, communicating them to folks, and putting up with me. So we stand here ready to applaud the performance and mourn the departure from our staff of an extraordinary Micah employee. But more than an employee, Celia Lurch is a spiritual leader, and her legacy will be felt by all of us who understand her grace and the love and the sweat and her many fabulous contributions to our community. So Celia and her husband, Aaron, are going to come up here. Mom and Dad, maybe you should change chairs so you can see better. Go over there, because you're going to come over here. Here's a piece of Torah I found for you guys. It says, "Never again did there arise in Israel a prophet like Moses." So Celia, it occurs to me, possesses many of the qualities that made Moses a great leader. She has faith. She understands the needs of the Jewish people, whether it's a bris or a bat mitzvah or a wedding, a funeral. Like Moses, her ultimate concern is the well-being of our community. Oh, there will never arise again at Micah a leader like Celia Lurch. So here's what we're going to do. It's going to be quick. I was thinking about it, and everyone, there's a couple of Hebrew words people know. We know shalom, and we know hallelujah, and we know the word dayenu. Yeah. So I was thinking, if you were just a daughter, I think for these two people right here, can I get a dayenu? It would be enough, but you're not. You're this amazing wife. And if you were just a wife, it would be enough. Can I get a dayenu? But you're not just these two things. There's these two props I were hoping that were going to be here that aren't here right now. They would go, dayenu, she's a great mom, right? And then I started thinking that it's not even just that, right? Like this building, this campus, it looks beautiful. You miss it? It looked like this the whole time. And it's not Freddie, it's the person actually at the top of it that makes this whole place look this beautiful. I said, if this place just looked beautiful as an executive director, 1, 2, 3, that would be enough. But it's not just that, because somehow she pays the bills too. And they give me a credit card, but it's really very limited, and I have to check every time I spend. But that makes the place, so if she was just good at like being the financial stuff, that would be enough. But it's not just that, because there's this whole other thing, I bet you, have you ever talked to her? Where she has to interact with people, right? Remember Todd Evans? Like, he used to work at a hotel. Like, some of you can be a little kind of demanding and like a little, I don't know, entitled. Anyway, all different personalities, all different ages. If she could just work with them, it would, ready? It would be enough. But here's the biggest one. I said it already, and my wife said it at the meeting last night. She does have to put out with my freakouts when the thing's not working and when I can't get. She's the person I call, and so dayenu, it would be enough if you are, but you're more than that. You are a star, and we love you, and we are so excited that you will still be a part of our community. It's enough. I can tell she's going to cry, so it's going to. Okay. Stay up, we'll just do a Aleinu. That's what we'll do.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer v'reshit, shalo asanu kigoyeh haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shalo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anaknu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We remain standing and mention the names of those who have passed this year: Rich Michelle, Henry E. Foyer, Dr. Bob Sirkin, Aidan Becker, Robert Golden, Des Zamek, Elaine Farinacci, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Charlene Creeley, John Giffen, Faye Sirkin, Joyce Murray, Richard I. Bourne, Fran Schmerling, Peggy J. West, Christopher Miller, Molly Stein, Alfred Cohen, Joseph W. Blumenthal, Leonard Basked, Joanne Cohen, Jack Chirac, Hilda Jackman. We recall also on the anniversaries of their deaths: Bryn Marion Brooker, David Chernus, Fanny Cohen, Anthony Belmore Frall, Lillian Geller, Jeffrey Gellin, Elizabeth Ann Griffin, Dr. Richard E. Heller, Mildred Hutner, Sidney Levine, Tamsin Love, Benjamin Parker, Julia Richard, Saul Smith, Sam Harold Tuckman, and William Williamson. Any other names anyone would like to add? We join together in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra hirute ve'amlich malchute, b'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya, yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal, shmei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata, tushbekata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. We ask, as always, that the source of peace and peace to all people who are mourning and comfort to all people who feel bereaved. And we say one final time together, amen. I'm not even going to let you sit down when I make these quick announcements. Most important, after Torah study, and anyone is welcome to join us on Zoom, that will continue on Zoom through the summer at least, at 9 a.m., we have the adult B'nai Mitzvah happening here, and that is going to be a joy. You can join us here in person, or you can watch online, and that'll start at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Monday night at June 7th, Julie Greenberg leads the Zoom discussion on the book club, Riding with the Ghost. Shmooze is now meeting in person. That takes place Thursdays at 10:30 here in the building. You can also Zoom in. And in-person Shabbat services are obviously now available. You can go to our website to see all of the information and check our e-blast. Let's do a Kiddush. You know what? For anyone who's game, nobody has to, but pretend it's the high holidays. Why don't you come forward and look that way for the people watching? Just come do it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shavat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinkilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lamikra kodesh zecher letziyat מצרים. הבנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim, l'chaim. All right, we got a closing song. We're going to send them to the video. Yeah? They're going to watch a little honoring of our teachers at home. And here, Miss Lisa, I'll take anything you got.
Oh, say.
Evie, what do you love about Miss Natalie?
Because
She's special? And what else?
and
She hugs you?
I like Miss Natalie because she hugs me and she reads me stories and she's really nice to me. So much to my teachers.
Do you have anything to say to your teachers?
Yeah. I like to hug you too, and that's you so much. Thank you for helping me and hugging me. I love my teacher.
Say it. I love my teacher.
I love my teacher. Made us pink. Miss Rachel, if you can hear me, I love seeing you every day when I see you.
What do you want to say?
Effie, are you gonna say something to Miss Bonita? Hi, Miss Bonita.
Say I love you.
I love you. Yeah, I love it. Yapa and Miss Aya.
Why do you love them?
I love them.
Penny, what do you love about Miss Maria? I love her because she reads me stories and she rocks me to sleep.
Yeah.
Can you wave? Can you wave to Miss Erica and Miss Jackie? Hi. Say thank you. Can you blow them a kiss?
Thank you.
Blow them a kiss. Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do for our kids.
Thank you for our kids.